Subscribe to Film Companion for your film fix. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well and thanks for taking a break from watching all those Insta lives to tune into another streaming with Suchin. Do you guys think this whole Insta craze is gonna last or eventually we'll just find a new cool thing? Like after TikTok and Instagram and House Party and Zoom, soon we're all just gonna be chilling on something really random like LinkedIn. And before you know it, we're all just gonna be sitting at home, aggressively networking and endorsing each other's skills. It could happen, just wait for it. Anyway, let's check out some streaming shows, shall we? We begin with Mindy Kaling's new Netflix comedy, Never Have I Ever. And good lord, I have so much to say about this show and nowhere near enough time. But let's go for it, shall we? I honestly don't think there's going to be much I end up watching this year that will stay with me as much as this show did. But not always for the right reasons.
Hey gods, it's Devi Vishwakumar, your favorite Hindu girl in the San Fernando Valley.
Let's look at this show on paper, shall we? The amazing idealness that is Mindy Kaling creates a semi-autobiographical Netflix series to capture the Indian-American experience through a coming-of-age high school comedy about a young girl who's trying to do life, be cool, whilst also trying to come to terms with the recent death of her dad. It sounds like the perfect show. And yet, Never Have I Ever is one of those flawed series which beats you into submission over the first few episodes, but after you accept that it's not what it could have been and make your peace with what it is, it really does take you on a journey that stays with you. Let's start with Devi herself, played by first-time actor Sriram Raghavan, who's the best thing about this. Hers is a flawless performance and she perfectly anchors the show. So much so that I swear I would happily watch 15 more seasons of this just to watch her life unfold. Give me Devi the college years and Devi's first job or Devi as a parent, you name it. She's someone you care deeply about and I just want to protect her from the world, you know? Equally good is Poorna Jagannathan, who plays her stern mother who's just trying her best. But that aside, Never Have I Ever has some severe identity issues. Firstly, who is this show made for? While what you hope it does is tap into and capture the brown American experience, what it actually is more of an introduction to Indian 101 package for white people. For starters, it's yet another one of those painfully uncomfortable shows where a bunch of glaringly American actors put on forced Indian accents to play Indian Indians. There are a lot of actual Indian actors who already sound, Indian. Everyone from Devi's dad to her truly frustrating cousin played by Richa Murjani to countless other characters through the show all risk coming across like caricatures. It's insulting and insensitive, and it's so ironic that a show aiming to preach cultural sensitivity just comes off so tone deaf. In another prime example, Devi's family are Tamilians, and in one scene you see them speak Tamil, at which point the Netflix subtitles reads, speaks Hindi. You know brown people are going to watch this show too, right? There's kind of a lot of us. Here's a fun fact, brown people got Netflix too, bro. Then there's that lazy voiceover. The entire series is narrated by tennis star and actor John McEnroe, which sounds like a genius device for comedy on paper, but in reality it's just used as a crutch to underline and spoon feed you the story. It literally tells you what characters are thinking and feeling and why, because God forbid you actually want to convey those things through like writing story and character, right? Still, there is a sweet pleasantness to the show and it does get better as it goes on, and these characters really do grow on you. The last few episodes in particular are the show's best when it becomes more about pain and dealing with the loss of a loved one. But if a comedy show works best in its dramatic portions, does it not still somewhere mean that it's failed? In the end, Never Have I Ever really was an overwhelming emotional experience. It broke my heart that the show wasn't what it could have been. It angered me at just how insensitive it was to the very community it's trying to champion. But I also fell entirely in love with Devi and eventually got swept away by her story. And in the end, despite its many flaws, it's an experience that I'm grateful for. For once, the trailer really did live up to its promise. She really is my favorite Hindu girl from the San Fernando Valley. Next up, we come to Netflix's new action thriller, Extraction, starring Chris Hemsworth, which I gotta say, I was pretty impressed by. From director Sam Hargrave, who's previously served as stunt coordinator on countless films from the MCU, Extraction follows Tyler Rake, a mercenary who's been hired by a Mumbai drug lord, played by Pankaj Tripathi, to rescue his son, who's been kidnapped by a rival drug lord named Dhaka. I know, right? Chris Hemsworth, Pankaj Tripathi, it's crazy! Extraction clearly comes from the mind of someone who understands the action genre, so as you'd hope, the action is slick, brutal, and relentless, as Hemsworth tears through endless baddies behind enemy lines trying to get him and the boy home. Watch out for that one great long take sequence, as well as the ending bridge blowout, which are both very impressive. Also to his credit, director Hargrave really does try and ground all the ass-kicking in genuine emotion and character, but that doesn't quite work, as you find yourself much more invested in the fancy fighting more than anything else. Also, the film feels too long and doesn't really manage to maintain its intensity throughout. Also, clearly there is some aspect of a white savior complex here, as the hero white dude comes into the messy brown country and saves the day from all the drug lords and corruption. But I've got to say, I was also startled by the film's cultural sensitivity, This isn't the outsider's perspective that we're so used to seeing in films like this. For starters, this is the big Hollywood action film and 40% of it takes place in Bengali or Hindi, which is crazy. There's also a genuine effort put in to give all the Asian characters some significance. My favorite performance came from Randeep Hooda, who is so impressive in how he carries himself through all the action. The dude goes up against Thor and holds his own, and it's like, damn son. In the end, action has always been one genre that Netflix has struggled with, but Extraction is the strongest one yet, and we need more like it. Next up, we come to Kanan Gill's new Netflix comedy special, Your Sincerely. I think Kanan Gill is one of the best stand-up comedians in India with a sophistication, maturity, and style that's right up there with a lot of international comics. He's also only the 4th Indian comic to get their own Netflix special, which is still a very big deal. Unlike Amazon Prime, which goes for more of the Oprah approach. You get a special, and you get a special, and everybody gets a special. Your Sincerely follows Kanan going through a letter that he wrote when he was 15 to his older self about all the goals he wanted to achieve in life, from health to relationships to career and more. For me, this one didn't quite pack the same punch as Kanan's earlier special, Keep It Real, on Amazon Prime Video, which I think remains one of the best Indian comedy specials so far. While that one was funnier, this one is more profound and sees Kanan get personal without being pretentious, which is something that a lot of comedians seem to struggle with these days. But it's still a great special which sees Kanan bringing his unique perspective and ability to find new angles of absurdity in situations like no one else. While Keep It Real remains my favorite, Your Sincerely is still layered, laugh out loud funny and sharply written, and I strongly recommend it. Next up, we come to Bad Education, the new HBO movie on Disney Hotstar. The movie stars Hugh, Jackman, and tells the true story of Dr. Frank Toussaint, who was a district superintendent of schools who back in 2002 got himself caught up in a scandal involving the biggest theft of school funds in history. When we first meet him, Frank seems like the perfect man. Everything about him screams shiny politician. He's charismatic, he's likable, he's charming, he remembers everyone's names and makes them feel special. And he also seems sincerely dedicated to wanting the best for his schools. In short, he's too good to be true and you know there's a body somewhere. We see cracks begin to form when one of his colleagues is caught embezzling funds, which leads to a domino effect of seeing the perfect man come undone. But is he innocent, or is he complicit, or is it more than that? Bad Education has all of the shining spirit and power of a great Oscar drama without any of the showy smugness of drawing too much attention to itself. What's truly remarkable here is this isn't a story any of us have heard of. Also, the politics of education and misappropriation of public funds is hardly sexy subject matter. But here it's just great storytelling that keeps you invested in every beat. That, and maybe a career best performance from Hugh Jackman, who's just terrific as the likable but deeply manipulative Dr. Toussaint. Also among the cast that includes the fantastic Alison Janney and Ray Romano, my favorite performance came from Geraldine Vishwanathan, who plays the young student journalist who first broke the story. You may have seen her in films like Blockers, and she's one of the most exciting young actors out there today. Also, brown people represent. Is it just me, or did this whole episode just become about brown people in Hollywood stuff? Anyway, while the final leg of the movie does sag and you feel like it doesn't really have much left to say, Bad Education is still a fantastic drama and I highly recommend it. Also, total side note, for anyone who hasn't seen Blockers, it's one of the best comedies of the last few years and you should definitely check it out. And last but not least, we come to Disney Hotstar's new original series, 100. From creators Ruchi Narayan, Tahir Shabir, Abhishek Dubey and Ashutosh Shah, 100 stars Lara Dutta and Sairat's Rinku Rajguru as two women from completely opposite worlds who come together in the most unlikely way. Lara Dutta is Soumya Shukla, the DCP of police who wants nothing more than to just be left alone to be a cop. But unfortunately, she's the token female officer of the police force, which means that she's constantly kept away from the action to attend functions and go to flash mobs. Rinku plays Netra, a government officer who learns that she has a terminal illness after talking to the world's most hilariously specific doctor. This dude literally looks at a brain scan for like 10 seconds and then tells her she has only 100 days to live. That's not how science works, bro. Anyway, Netra breaks bad and decides that she wants to live out her final days in excitement. She meets DCP Soumya and the two come to an arrangement that gives Soumya an undercover operative to do the things that she can't and gives Netra a reason to live. It's such an exciting idea on paper and it has a fun cast and a fun energy, but the way it's brought to life is just dumb. It's one of those shows that just coasts along in a way that's competent but uninteresting, as you're constantly wondering what more they could have done with this. 100 calls itself an action comedy, but the series works best when it goes into the internal politics and power struggles within the police department, and particularly Soumya's constant struggles to be seen as equal. Still, the show for the most part is uneven, it meanders a lot and not everything adds up, but it's all held together by strong performances, especially from Lara Dutta. Not only is she a police officer trying her best within a system that doesn't seem to care, she's also an actress trying her best in a show that doesn't really seem to go anywhere or achieve much of anything. Thanks guys, that's all from me this time, but be safe. Let me know what you guys are watching in the comments below, and happy streaming.